Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the What the Football channel. This is the BH and Scrubber Show. And on today's show, we're going to be previewing our upcoming game against the New York Giants. It's an away game. It's going to be a 1 o'clock game. Be sure to join us here on this channel on Sunday at 1 o'clock. We do a live reaction show, play by play. I do the commentating. BH it's going to be in the chat room, so join us. It's always a lot of fun. Been more and more people coming every week, but we'd love to have you. We're small enough still. We can still talk to you in the chat room, and it's good to have people in there. So starting out this game, before we get going, there are some injuries on our side. Cornelius Lucas is going to be out. But Brandon Coleman passed through concussion protocol, so he'll be there. And I guess he could probably switch back and forth if he needs a break with Trent Scott. I'm sure they've been working Trent Scott out on that side because Cornelius and Brandon were splitting that. And B-Rob is questionable, and he might not get a lot of carries on Sunday because it seems to me like he's got a hammy going on. And so he's still hurting. On the New York side, they've got a couple big-time people who are out. Number one, their punter is out. Gillen, long freak-looking guy, he's out. Their punter is out. Also, their kicker is out.
I know.
Dude, remember the last game, their kicker was out, and they couldn't kick any extra points. And so had they been able to kick extra points, the game would have been tied 21-21, the infamous field goal game. Then also, so their punter and kicker are out, but they've got a backup kicker. I don't know what they're going to do about the punter. They could probably bring somebody in real quick. And then their wide receiver, Bryce Ford Wheaton. So he's out.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, people are banged up, maybe questionable, that kind of thing. But I assume they're going to play. If it says questionable or nothing's by their name, they're going to play. So
I agree.
Pretty simple injury list, and especially for us, it's not bad. So, well, BH, what do you think of this upcoming game?
Well, pretty interesting. That game, I'm so glad we won that game, but it was just pretty horrible in the red zone for us. I mean, we just could. Well, actually, for them too. I mean, come on, no one can convert hardly at all, and we didn't have a great red zone game, like last week either. So we were kind of just missing sometimes. So we were seeing more stifled against the Giants. But yeah, I'm looking for more than just a field goal game. I want to be able to. I mean, attack. And I know it's B-Rob is funny. He was just coming off of, I think his knee was his problem. And he's kind of got that fixed. Now his hammy's kind of bugging him. But like you said, it's questionable they play. And hey, he could run the ball 18 times. You just never know.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. But yeah, their defense is honestly pretty darn good. Surprisingly, they're actually playing pretty well. I watched them last week. Against, I guess, the Steelers, who are a pretty good offensive team. They seem to hold up fairly well, but man, I felt like they kind of crashed and burned, in the second half. But I think we can definitely go after these guys. I mean, they do have the great Dexter Lawrence on that line, and he makes that line pretty tough. Him and Brian Burns, that edge defender. We won't have to deal with Kayvon Thibodeaux, thank goodness. Yeah, I know. Their biggest thing is their linebackers are really good too. I mean, they've got some really good play at linebacker. But man, on the DB side is kind of where they struggle. They got a decent player in Andrew Phillips, the rookie, but he doesn't have a whole lot of snaps. And everyone else, man, Deontay Banks, Cordell Flott, and Flott's injured, and he's not very good. And even their safety play has been okay. But I think we can kind of go after those guys, and I think we should. And I don't think in the second game we noticed that Jaden was sort of expanding him and Cliff. His passing, his downfield passing was quite limited, dink and dunk. And I think now he's a much different passer than that. I mean, he's layering 20-yarders, 40-yarders, 50-yarders. You know, he's hitting all layers out there, which is so important, man, because you cannot, you just can't crunch down, or you can't just stay way back. You know, he knows how to manipulate all of those. So I think that's going to be a really good game for him against these DBs that are, I would say, kind of average. We can still run the ball very well, but who knows? You know, that their linebackers, their D line is pretty tough, and so maybe we have to air it out a little more. But I'm all for that if we have to, just to get in the end zone against these guys, because I think it's important. And I don't think they're that much more improved than week 2. I think we're basically going against the same offense. Honestly, there's some talent there, but I think if we can put up some touchdowns, then we can just tee off on them with our D. So how do you see our D matching up with their offense?
Wow, it looks really, really good. I'm glad that we're growing in leaps and bounds. One of the biggest things we heard Coach say the other day, the communication level is up. That's something that we haven't had, even at the beginning of this year and the past couple of years. It was just teams were getting 5, 7, 8 explosive plays a game on us. Now they're only getting maybe 1 or 2. I think we got burned last week by a long run and maybe a quick screen pass for some amount of yards, but nothing major. So the communication, I think, is cutting down on the explosive plays, and that's Bobby Wagner in the center. So having Bobby Wagner there, and then of course Frankie Luvu running all over the place like a maniac. They're doing great as far as the New York offensive side. They've got Danny Dimes, the Derp. So he's pretty good. He's a big dude. I forgot how big he is. He's like 6'5" and 200 and something pounds or something like that. And so he has not been running a lot this season.
No,
holding him back running, but as we know, he can run all over us. So this year we've been having good experience with quarterbacks that can run on us, and we've been stopping them. So if you can push him to stay in the pocket and get nervous, he'll throw interceptions. That's one of the big things that our defense needs. We need more interceptions. We need more turnovers. So keeping the pressure on him is going to help in that. And it's like playing tennis or golf. Just play your game. Let them make the mistakes. Keep your pressure up on them. Don't do nothing crazy. Keep your regular pressure on them. Just keep doing good. They will make the mistake, and you will capitalize on that. Our defense has gotten a lot better. We talk about where they were at the beginning of the year, 27th in this, 27th in that, 25th in this. But now we're like points per game against 11th.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Total yards against per game, 13th.
Oof.
Above middle of the pack. That's insane. Pass yards per game, we're 6th. Our DBs are 6th in pass yards against. That's insane. And then sacks, we're 7th. So we are getting pressure. We're getting the sacks. 7th is good. Now our yards against rushing and our interceptions are still low. So there's a couple areas that our defense needs to up their game on, and with Jerzon Newton in there, I think we're gonna be able to be stopping some runs and doing good that way, because they've got David Singletary and their boy Tyrone Tracy. He's a rookie.
Yeah,
he cleared concussion protocol, so he's good to go. They've got who else? They got Darius Slayton.
Malik Neighbors.
Wandale Robinson. I forget who their tight end core is. They're okay. They're offensive.
Theo Johnson. He's a rook. He's pretty good for a rookie. He probably grow into something good, but there's nothing too scary there. But they got some. I think they have decent players in a lot of spots. I mean, those are good wide receivers, a couple good running backs. So, I mean, it's not a junk offense for sure.
Right. They're high paid people. I forget who was saying it the other day. They're high paid people and they're not paying off for some reason. And I don't know if that's the coaching or whatever they do. Their offensive line is a little beat up. I think one of their who's that, their left or right tackle or guard is beat up, and so they got a rookie in there, and we can take advantage of that. If Jerzon Newton is on his game, he's gonna break that wide open. So I'm really looking forward to a good defensive game. Hopefully our offense can score some points, get ahead, keep our defense rested, because that's what like you said last week. The Giants defense was starting to get gassed because we're out on the field for so long, and that's what we want to do to them this week as well, is keep them out on the field, keep them gassed, and hopefully our offense won't make it. We need to cut down on the penalties, cut down on the drop passes, do good in the red zone. That's all I have for the offense. So,
yeah, I think so. And I think that this is, we're playing the same team, basically. We know them, and we played them earlier. But they're the same team, and we're not. That's what's great about it. We've moved up. They've sort of just go along. Like I said, Andrew Thomas, their tackle is out. And I guess they put this guy Hubbard. I just had to read up about him. He's been around, but he's just one of those guys, backup practice squad types. And he just got shredded last week. Yeah. He put up a 41 PFF. So he's probably practicing his ass off this week, but he better be ready, because our defensive ends now, Clelin Ferrell, I think, is probably going to be nursing that knee all year. It's fine, but it's, he can play, but he's only going to do 18 snaps, whatever. But we got a bunch of guys coming in at defensive end, rotating him in, rotating him out. And if that guy Hubbard's got issues, Frankie Luvu is going to make it worse.
Yeah.
That. They'll tag team Frankie over there and go after him. Yeah, their interior not great, which is great news considering Jerzon had that. Let's hope. We saw one game with Jerzon Newton last week, breakaway. Boom. He was all world, 7 pressures, sacks, you name it. He went crazy. Let's hope that's the new beginning, because their interior is not that good. And if Jerzon's doing like he did last week, they're in for a workout, because I watched a lot of all 22, and I'm telling you, he was the real deal. He controlled that line. He broke things up. He messed up their run game. He messed up their pass game. We need all that. So, I'm ready. I'm excited. It's, 1:05 Eastern, I think.
Hell yeah. All right. That's it. Thanks, everybody.
That's it. All right. See you guys.